Jacksonville.
I walk outside, 6 foot, 7 foot. Ball on Wayne's my favorite song. You know, when I play it in my car, it's super loud.
Guns it. Sanders in a pocket. Oh, what a catch. Travis Hunter, give him the Heisman now.
My job is to come out and be Travis Hunter, come out and play how they envision me to play and, exceed all the expectations. I mean, in the pros, it's a lot different. All I got is football. In college, I had to manage school, football, and, personal life. But, I had a good team around me, so in college, it was kind of easy to me. I pretty much, focused on football, but I did my schoolwork. And, in the pros, it's going to be the same way for me, but I don't have schoolwork, so I can go my 24 hours and nothing but football.
Goal, here's McCord, trying to win it for Syracuse, gives it to Allen. Allen is stopped by Woodard, still going, no! He gets through! Allen gets through! He wins the game!
Look out! There goes two! No flags! Touchdown!
With the 200th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Rayon Lane III, defensive back, Navy.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome into Jaguars Today. Rabbit, Tony Smith, got to start July off on a good foot, although it's not like 12:01 a.m., so it's probably too late for that. We've already spoken today. How are you?
I'm doing well.
How's your outlook on the second half of 2025?
It's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a generally positive guy anyway, but
More so than me.
Yeah, it's all good.
I always look for the potential downfall in any situation and often find it. But it is July 1st, second half of the year. It is weird. It feels like the middle, like June into July should be the middle of summer. Summer's been around for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
just
going
getting started. It's
going to drag for quite a while. Young Dylan Denmark is here to weigh in on all these musings. Good morning, Dylan.
Good morning, Mike.
How are things?
I went into a deep investigation yesterday for about 7 minutes. On the Glock Dookies. It was all hype. It really wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth the.
Don't even. Yeah.
The juice wasn't worth the squeeze. Some like to say.
I just ruined my day.
That might have been a little too close to home on that one.
Too much.
All right, a little too much on that one. Good to see you, though. Is that a freeloader shirt that you're wearing right there?
Yes, sir.
Got that for free?
Fun. Yes, sir.
Tony rocking a freeloader today.
Yes, I am.
Hashtag Jaguars Today. I think I purchased this one. I could have got it.
Yeah.
The Jags may have given me, I say that I never get paid directly from the Jags. Like people say, you work for the Jags. Well, technically, I work for 1010, even on game day. But I have gotten a few polos from them. Which I appreciate very much. This may be one of them. I'm not sure, Tone. I don't like to spend my own money. If I can help it, we can definitely make it through several weeks without dipping into clothes that we paid for.
Yeah,
There's no question about that. All right, Tuesday top five. We're going to get to that. Josh Hines-Allen was out there making the media rounds, talking Jaguar stuff. Brian Baldinger was on with Rick Ballou last night, so we'll hear a few of his thoughts as well as we slide into the month of July here with training camp coming up, Tony, today. What with the Taco Tuesday theme, right? You put together a taco. By the way, if you had 5 ingredients to put together a taco, do you count the shell? Does that have to count, or are you counting just the things that go in the taco?
It depends on your preference for that. Right.
Depends on how many things you want in there.
Right. And whether or not you want the hard shell, the soft shell, flour tortilla. So it is, to some degree, a decision that you have to make as far as this is what I want my taco to be.
All right. So what are your 5 taco ingredients that you can have, shell included? What are the 5 basics?
I would go soft shell.
Okay.
For me, I would go ground beef.
Of course.
Cheese.
Okay.
Tomatoes.
So how's tomato 4th for you?
Well, I was just going through the list.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's kind of the list of the order that I put them in the taco.
Okay.
Is what I was going with here.
You build it a certain way.
Yeah, and if I didn't even have a 5th ingredient, I'd be okay.
I'd go sour cream.
Yeah.
With the 5th.
I don't love sour cream.
I'd go sour cream over hot sauce. Yeah. But usually I'll have a little fresh lettuce in there. Got to have a little lettuce with the tomato and a little bit of texture in there. I'm with the ground beef as well. I'd go soft taco. If I order a taco, like if I'm making tacos, I think it's more fun. Like when you're kids, to have the taco shells, you stack them up and you make them. In fact, Dylan Denmark, unbeknownst to you, my media career really took off. This must have been, and I don't know how old I was, 1974, right? I first appeared in the local newspaper in second grade as it was Taco Day at school. And that's how much was happening in Milford, Connecticut at the time, that a photographer from the local newspaper came in and took pictures of our class making tacos.
Kids are eating tacos.
Kids eating and making and eating and delicious. And there I was, a goofy little second grader. And look at me. I've grown up to be a goofy little 56-year-old now. So it's all worked out well. All right, today, top 5. We're putting the recipe together, not for tacos, but for a successful season for the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. What is the winning formula for the Jags? I think there are some basics. You could get really into the weeds on this, right? Like you could say, hey, here's one of them. Trevor, play better. Well, all right, what? Trevor's footwork, Trevor's accuracy, Trevor's timing, Trevor's command of the offense. Yes, you could check all those boxes, and all those things will be true. So you can break it down as into the minutia as you like, or you can go as broad as you want. But what are the 5 things? If the Jags are going to win at least 9 games this year, have a winning record. That's not a guarantee of the playoffs, but you pretty much need to have a winning record to get to the playoffs. Even in this division, I don't think you're winning this division at 8 and 9. I don't see that happening. So
I could see it at 9, but
I could see it maybe at 9,
but
right?
Not 8.
But who knows, right? But whatever the case, to assure yourself of a winning record, what are some of those ingredients? And I don't know about you, Tony, but like we have a pretty good feel for what this team was good at, what it wasn't good at. Sometimes you look at the numbers, the actual numbers compared to like the league standards, and it is just so hard to believe that they could be so ineffectual in certain areas, like creating turnovers, running the ball, but there's some hope. I think when you look at what this coaching staff did, granted, with different circumstances and different sets of players, in their most recent chances to improve some of those numbers, like Liam Cohen, what did he inherit when he went into Tampa? And you look what he was able to do with the pieces he had. Now, granted, we don't have the same exact ingredients, but we've got a formula in mind. And do you think, for instance, and we'll talk about the ingredients, but Liam Cohen said from day one, we got to be able to run the ball.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like everyone, it's very easy to get caught up in the Travis Hunter joining Brian Thomas Jr. in that receiving core kind of hype, that this is a team that if they're going to have success is going to have to make things easier for Trevor Lawrence and, dictate to the defense that we're capable of staying with this running game all day if that's what we want to do.
Yeah, that's certainly something that Liam Cohen showed that he was willing to commit to, right? So, and the way they've talked about it makes it easy to expect that that's something they're going to be willing to commit to here in Jacksonville this year. I do think maybe to some degree the impact of Liam Cohen in Tampa is overblown a little bit, right? Okay. Because this is a team that won the Super Bowl 5 years ago as the second place team in the division that year with Tom Brady at quarterback. They've won the division the last 4 years beyond that. So Liam Cohen came into a team that was a good enough team to be a division winner and a division much like the AFC South. It's not one that runs away from you, right? Like a lot of years, 9 or 10 is going to be enough to win you the NFC South at this point in time. But it wasn't a team that had no success and he came in, right, and created success. It was a playoff team that he took over the offensive play calling for and continued to. The offense certainly took a step up last year with Liam Cohen as the offensive coordinator. They were really good in a lot of areas. They obviously took advantage of the advantages they could create for themselves. And so I think there is a lot to putting on Liam Cohen that he can do that kind of thing here in Jacksonville, because there are some pieces on the offensive side that we look at and say, just feature this. feature it.
Right.
Like, make it a big deal for this team because we've seen, Brian Thomas Jr. needs to be the guy. Treat him like he's the guy. Make him the guy in whatever you're doing in the offense. And when you add on top of that, we got to be able to run the ball so that we can make him the guy, right? Like that kind of thing. I'm all in favor of that, but I don't want to look at Cohen and say he created the success for Tampa. He did a really good job with the offense last year. There's no doubt about it. And hopefully he can do the same thing here in Jacksonville with the weapons that he's going to have at his disposal.
Well, he certainly improved them greatly in some areas, though. And we'll get into that. And I do think last year in particular, Tampa had the advantage of having the clear-cut best quarterback in the division, right? I mean, the Falcons are having a season where they're eventually going to break in Michael Penix, right? And Derek Carr got hurt relatively early, and it was off to a great start, by the way.
You might have gone into the season saying Carr was that guy.
Maybe.
Right?
Because you weren't sure what Baker was going to produce.
Yeah.
Because he had never been at the height he was last year. But that's some of it, too. We talked about what Liam Cohen, and it's not just one man. It's the infrastructure he puts in place around that guy. But he got the best performance out of Baker Mayfield that anyone's gotten. And Baker hasn't been a bad quarterback. In fact, he set the rookie touchdown passing record when he came in the league, I think, with 28 touchdowns. But he took it up to 41 last year. I mean, I think if we're getting Trevor Lawrence anywhere near Baker Mayfield's numbers from last year, then this team's going to exceed expectations. Like, I don't think it needs to be that big of a jump. I'm not anticipating that big of a jump. I will welcome that big of a jump all day long for Trevor Lawrence in this passing game. And I do think the pieces are in place to have some success here. Is Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter right now as good as Mike Evans and Chris Godwin were at the beginning of last season? I'd say probably no. You got to give some credence to having been there, done that at this level in the National Football League. But I think if you look at the potential for those guys, and that's just, kind of scratching the surface. De'Ami Brown and others going to factor in there. But so we'll get into that today. That's your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. Your Tuesday top 5. What are the top 5 ingredients, the 5 main ingredients the Jaguars need to produce a winning record in 2025? You can hit us up on a variety of things here. This is interesting. Okay. All right. I guess when I'm just confusing myself with social media is what I'm doing right now, and there's no need for it. So I'll just move on off of that. 641-1010. If you want to join us today on the Checkmate Coatings phone line, same number, 641-1010 for the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can always hop in the YouTube virtual studio and post in the chat there, or stream us wherever you can find us. Where are we at, Dylan? We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on what? YouTube. Those three?
That's it.
Okay, not, I don't know. Do people stream on Instagram? I don't even know.
No, sir.
Instagram.
They go Instagram Live, but that's not.
Oh, okay. But that's not what we do.
No.
Here around these parts. Again, to confuse you with social media. At MD_1010XL on Twitter, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
I need some Girl Scout cookies.
Is it that? I don't really know, honestly, when Girl Scout cookie season is, but I feel like I saw a Girl Scout selling something the other day.
I got to have them cookies, baby.
I was in the checkout line, and somebody said, hey, I need change for this 20 so I can give some money to those Girl Scouts out there. I don't know. And then as soon as I walked out the door, I just turned my head and went the other way, because that's how I am. If you want to get off your little Girl Scout behinds and come walk door to door and come to the house and knock on the door, I'll give you $5. I promise. But if you're just going to set up with a table and let mom do half the heavy lifting, at Publix, not going to work as well for me. That's just me. I'm just a mean old man at this point in time. All right, we will hear from Josh Hines, who's on the Rich Eisen show, talking about Travis Hunter, the wide receivers. And by the way, it's not just Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, De'Ami Brown that are practicing with Trevor. There are a whole bunch of offensive skill guys that are down in the Bahamas getting their practice on.
Yeah, I think I saw Strange in there.
Strange was in there.
Little was there.
Other, like Cephas was there. I think Etienne was there. I think a bunch of guys down there. So take advantage of that time together if you can. And Brian Boldinger on with Rick Ballou last night with some thoughts on where the Jaguars stand just a few weeks out from training camp. Happy first day of July. Hope you've got great weekend plans, but we got a lot to do before we get there. Today's top five ingredients for a winning recipe for the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2025. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark here with you. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
You ever have that feeling
1010XL.
where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming?
All the time.
1010XL.
I thought it wasn't real. Your mind makes it real.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com, powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
If someone you love needs a pick-me-up, then it's time to get serious about it and send them a Kuhn floral arrangement. Max Fink here with 1010XL. You'll be assured of quality delivery, that's for sure. Log on and order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Your shrimp in a bag.
The first half champion Jumbo Shrimp are home this weekend at VyStar Ballpark. Don't miss the biggest fireworks show of the season on this Friday, July 4th, presented by Ascension St. Vincent's. Saturday, the first 2,000 fans through the main gate on Georgia Street get a Nolan Ryan Jacksonville Suns bobblehead, courtesy of Miller Electric and Arlington Toyota. Sunday is a Forever Vets Dog Day on Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day.
You don't think this would be a good moment to text somebody?
There's never a bad moment to share your opinion on the 1010XL text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Share your opinion
As soon as possible.
at 641-1010.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
What is 1010XL's Jeff Prosser's favorite movie? The answer next.
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Believe it or not, Jeff Prosser's favorite movie is The Wizard of Oz.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn?
TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, so I heard Jack O'Brien in the break there talking about Jeff Prosser's movie. That was a surprise to me, Wizard of Oz, Tony. We were just talking about how they used to encourage young Judy Garland to smoke a couple packs a day to keep that weight off. You want to make sure you fit in your ruby slippers. But what's your favorite movie? You have a all-time favorite?
The Godfather.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty clearly The Godfather for you?
Pretty clearly, yeah.
Okay. I used to always, people ask me, I'd always say The African Queen, which is a great movie. I don't know if it's my favorite. I don't even know if it's my favorite Bogart movie anymore. I think I tried to be, when I was younger, I was like, I like Bogart. I was in my 20s, you know, and it was like, oh, yeah. I've seen most of them, you know, Treasure of Sierra Madre and obviously Casablanca and Maltese Falcon. And
there's a bunch of them that are in that pool.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like, I'm never not in the mood. Like, if they're on and I'm flipping when you used to flip channels and it was on, I'd be like, all right, I'm watching the next hour and a half of this.
The Godfather's fantastic. I don't know if it's better than Godfather 2, though. You know, like, I think
they're both kind of the same thing in my head.
Right. They're both great.
Yeah.
Dylan Denmark, first thing that comes to mind for you. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Probably Remember the Titans.
Okay.
I guess. I'm not much of a movie person.
Every time that movie comes up, I have to point, I've never seen it. Never seen Remember the Titans. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know people rave about it, but I don't know. I feel like just another feel-good high school football movie, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. If you love Remember the Titans, might be your favorite movie. I'm sure it's great. I just feel like I've had my share of the feel-good high school sports story movie.
It's great. Yeah.
But there you go. All right, there you go. Remember the Titans. Who knew? Let's go to the phone lines for the first time today. The Checkmate Coatings phone lines. That is at 641-1010. You can weigh in on anything tangentially related to the Jacksonville Jaguars and the National Football League, including today's top five. If you want to throw us your top five ingredients to put the recipe together for a winning record or better for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Philip in Arlington going to be first up this morning. Good morning, Philip.
Well, boys, we have made it. It's July 1st. The off-season is over with.
Oh, is it over, Philip? I didn't realize. We don't get a few more weeks of the off-season. All right, we'll start today.
July 1st, bro. Training camp opens up, man.
Okay.
Like Lou says, we're a bunch of hillbillies in a one-horse town, but I'm ready for last season needs to get out of my brain. But I think expectations are a little high, man. We got a new regime. We got that superstar on social media, but just go 8-8 or 8-9 or whatever it is. But if your favorite movie is not Goodfellas, you ain't my tribe.
You know, it's funny you say that because when Tony said Godfather, I think I like Goodfellas the best of all the mafia movies. I think it is my favorite from that genre. So, I'll piggyback on Philip a little bit there.
Joe Pesci in Goodfellas is insane. But anyway, we get through this loud hillbilly 4th of July. Hey, how would you like to put on your gravestone? I can eat more hot dogs than any other moron. I hate that crap, man. But
if I got paid like Joey Chestnut, I'd probably be okay with it, to be honest with you.
Whatever, but check it out. I have a radio I listen to on my porch, and I found some old speakers in my garage that were about a half a foot tall, and I wired them into my radio. Now I live in Sin City. If anybody is from Duval knows, it's in between the Expressway and Atlantic, but the whole neighborhood can hear 1010 XL. And a shout out to Holiday. Bro, have you ever heard of Starbucks? Maxwell House is what Samantha Stevens served Larry, Tate, and Darren after dinner, bro. Duval!
Thank you, Philip. Duval. Philip hit a lot of topics right there. It's if there were a Starbucks plant that you could smell within sniffing distance of Everbank, we are sure that Holiday would have been touting the virtues of the Starbucks. Yeah. It's the Maxwell House coffee, man. It's right there. It's iconic. You smell it downtown. I love the smell of coffee. Can't stand the taste of it, but there you go.
Maxwell House coffee will live on forever.
I appreciate Philip blasting us out to the neighborhood. You know anything about that area he was talking about, Dylan?
A little bit.
All right, I'm sure you do.
I've driven by there a couple of times.
You know every little nook and cranny.
I do.
That, Tony and I best not set foot in after sundown kind of situation.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't know if I'm tough enough to hang with Philip. Tony, I'd be honest with you. But I do agree. Goodfellas a better, maybe not a better, I prefer it. I enjoy it more. Enjoy watching it.
Like, I got no issue with Goodfellas. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
They're a bunch of great, whatever. You ask me on any given day, I'll change my mind.
Yeah, you pick a Scorsese mob movie, you've picked right? Like, there's not a bad one in the bunch. Oh, it's The Departed? Okay. Whatever you pick among what Scorsese's done with those, he's the man.
The Departed might be a top 10 movie for me all time. And that movie is just near flawless, I think. All right, should we get to a little Josh Hines Allen here? Let's do that here and try to bring it to what we're here for, which, Philip's like, hey, it's July 1st. We're a one-horse town. Well, we are in terms of the major professional sports level, but bro, you and I are here 12 months out of the year. It's not like we're just like waiting for July so we can talk some Jaguar football.
No.
I'm enjoying this little time. I'm trying to squeeze in as many rounds as I can right now because it's coming, brother. I mean, it is coming in a big way. And then basically, the storylines dictate themselves at that point in time, which is a blast. It makes it easier on us, trust me. But I'm not wishing my life away at this stage. I'm ready to. I'm content to wait until football season gets here. It'll be here soon enough, and then the marathon will begin. Josh Hines Allen on the Rich Eisen show, and with this first one, Dylan, is this Rich Eisen asking Josh if he himself could go both ways, right? So I guess.
Major snaps both ways.
I got you. So if, Travis Hunter can do it, I guess this is Josh Hines Allen thinks there'd be a role for him to try to be a two-way player.
I believe so. I think, what plagues every NFL player or any professional athlete is injuries. I think if he can allow himself to stay healthy and take care of that, get in the hyperbaric machine.
Yes. Right.
I think he has a great career ahead of him, both sides of the ball. Again, if he's the best DB, is he the best wide receiver? Who knows? But is he a great playmaker on both sides of the ball?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. And at the end of the day, when you're a team like, us right now, who's in that stage of we have to get it right now, we need the best playmakers on the field at all times. And if he can give you that value, let's do it.
All right, I've been sold a bill of goods there. I was fully expecting then Josh Hines Allen to tell us how he's going to line up as a running back or something there. I feel like I was giving the okey doke there, Dylan Denmark. What do you have to say for yourself?
I don't know.
Nah.
Nothing.
Oops.
I got nothing.
All right, so as I thought, just the way this was written, can he play both sides of the ball? He's talking about Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball. I don't think there's any, if anybody can do it, he's already shown he can do it.
Yeah.
I think it's more, Tony, the wear and tear of the hits. You can't anticipate what kind of hits he's going to take or have to deliver throughout the course of the season, right? I mean, look, could he run all day? Could he run if you were just running like in a practice setting every week? Could he do 120 plays every Sunday? And no, he's not going to get blown up if he's wearing the red jersey. Oh, I don't think there's much question to me that he could do that. He'd need a few plays off because, you go sprinting downfield, you're going to need a break on your legs. But in terms of the conditioning, but It's the same for any other player. De'Ami Brown, one crossing pattern, somebody takes you out the wrong way. That, to me, is the biggest impediment to Travis Hunter. He's not built like a tank.
Yeah.
If he can avoid the contact, it's more going to be, to me, not the wear and tear that gets him. It's going to be the acute issue if it happens. And let's hope it doesn't happen. Let's hope he can avoid that.
Yeah, and it's not a surprise that anybody that's on the Jaguars roster right now that's not named Travis Hunter, if you do an interview outside of Jacksonville, what they're going to ask you about is, can Hunter actually do this?
Right.
Right, like that's going to be...
From your perspective. But
right.
I thought this was going to be juicy. I was like, oh, my gosh, can Josh Hines-Allen do this? Josh Hines-Allen's like, yeah, I'll score 12 touchdowns today. Just put me in a goal line package.
Got a little tight end in him somewhere for Josh
I don't know.
Hines-Allen.
I didn't know what he was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. But along those kind of lines, Josh Hines-Allen was also asked about Travis Hunter, who will be playing offense and defense for the Jaguars this season, just asked about the work ethic that he has to have in order to try to do that kind of thing.
We've seen a competition between not only him, but it brings out to everybody else because, when you come to the Jacksonville, you're going to notice him. That's the first person you're going to go look for. And then you go, okay, who is he competing against? Mm-hmm. And then now that person right there is put on the spot now too. What are you going to do when the camera's on you? And those guys make plays as well. And so I'm excited about our defense. I'm excited about our offense. Again, I think we got a good, aggressive team and an experienced team now. Adding Jordan Lewis, I think Jordan Lewis is a heck of a player. Eric Murray is a heck of a player. So our secondary already got so much better. And then we added guys up front, veteran guys, Emmanuel Ogba, Dewan Smoot back. Me and Trey is already in there. Then you have Eric moving to 3-tech. So we got and then our linebacker core has been the same for the last couple of years. So they have the unity in that unit. So on defensively, we got a good, solid group. I love Coach Camp. He's somebody that you want to play for. Who brings it. You get the coaches that scream and kind of all right, and then he screams one day and he doesn't scream. No, this dude's intense, but he shows the passion and love that he has for the game and for us that makes us want to play for him. It makes us want to understand the defense a little bit faster for him. So that's always a good sign. That's always a good trait to have in a coach. And that's what I'm saying. I think we're in a good position. I'm ready to maximize off the value that I can bring to this defense and just be the best, defensive player I can be.
All right, we'll hear more from Josh Hines-Allen as we go along today, appearing with Rich Eisen on his podcast. We'll also hear a little bit from Brian Baldinger on with Rick Ballou last night right here on 1010XL. But we'll begin the countdown when we come back. The Tuesday Top 5 is out there, presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. Your top 5 necessary ingredients for the Jags to mix together a winning formula in 2025. We'll begin the countdown when we return. So stick around. This is Jaguars Today right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Here's another look behind the microphone at 1010XL with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Did you expect this? No, I didn't expect this, and I didn't expect you either, to tell you the truth.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Plan A is definitely a loser. Let's go to Plan B. You got a Plan B?
Hey, Jacksonville Hicken here. I've been around the block or two, and Checkmate Coatings is who I'd call for my own place. They're my new MVP for stunning, long-lasting floors.
Brendan here with Checkmate Coatings. No massive overhead means top prices on top-quality pool decks, driveways, garages, and patios, too.
Visit CheckmateCoatings.com today. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org.
This 4th of July, Navy Mutual would like to salute Yogi Berra as our hero in sports. Berra, a 15-time All-Star with the New York Yankees, was also one of the thousands who stormed the beaches of Normandy. The Hall of Famer is considered one of the greatest catchers of all time.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Power bill just went up again? Why keep paying more? Clay Solar can wipe that electric bill out. Right now, they'll cover your first 6 months' payments. Visit claysolar.com today to schedule your free consultation. claysolar.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Discuss the beautiful game. The Coaches Show presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor. Get an hour of soccer talk Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
Are you struggling with hair loss? At IHRS, we understand because we've been there too. We're dedicated to finding the best solution tailored just for you.
My hair looks great. It was thinning, and IHRS restored my hair.
It's now fuller, it's thicker, voluminous. It's made me feel great.
With the latest technology and FDA-approved laser therapy, PRP, and non-surgical hair addition, we offer guaranteed solutions for men and women.
With over 35 years of experience, IHRS found a hair restoration for us, and we can find one for you.
For me.
For me.
And me too.
Visit hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. Get a free microscopic analysis and get to the root of your problem. This $395 analysis is yours for free. Call 904-777-4477 now.
Hey, Hicken here, and you know I'm going to talk about skin. Yeah, it's hot outside, folks. The oven is on. Temps are in the 90s, and it's only getting hotter. I love the summer, but my skin doesn't. I do my best with dry fit shirts, big floppy hats, plenty of water. My secret weapon, though, the sunscreen. I use it regularly. Maybe you should as well. Look, I've also been seeing docs at Peaches Dermatology for years, and my skin thanks me for it. I'm telling you, it could save your life. Book your appointment today at peachesdermatology.com.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Mia here, and I love my custom closet from Closets by Design. With summer in full swing, having my warm weather wardrobe front and center is a game changer. No more digging for the right outfit on a hot day. If your home needs a summer refresh, whether that be a closet, a garage, or a pantry, schedule a free in-home consultation with Closets by Design. And the offer has been extended, folks. Receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. And free installation on any order of $750 or more. Visit closetsbydesign.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Tuesday Top 5. Always a nice little off-season staple here on Jaguars Today. Today we're looking for those 5 ingredients that you're going to mix into your recipe that will provide the Jacksonville Jaguars a winning record. It's probably more than 5 ingredients, obviously, right? But what are the 5 basics, right? On a Taco Tuesday, if you're building the taco, you got to have the certain things. You got to have the shell. You got to have the meat. You know, you got to have whatever veggies you're putting in there and whatever. So, what are the things that you can't do without? if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, if you expect to win at least 9 games in 2025. Dylan Denmark, if you'd be so kind to begin the countdown.
Number 5.
There he goes. Tony, you want to jump in first today? What do you think?
Sure, I'll go first. At number 5 on my list, this is the most kind of just not player directly related thing on my list here, but I landed with this at number 5. 4-2 in the division at minimum is what I went with at number 5, which is kind of an odd thing to put on a list for a winning season. You need to have a winning record in this specific thing.
Right. Win 9 games. That would be number 1 on my list.
Right. But 4-2 in the division at minimum. And I'm taking a look at some of the history in the division. I think there's been one team that has wound up winning 9 games or more in the last decade in the AFC South that didn't go at least 4-2 in the division.
So what are you thinking? Sweep Tennessee and split with the others?
That would get you there.
Obviously, right? But is that, you think that's the most likely path to that, or is it sweep them and sweep Indy?
I think it's probably sweep the Titans and split with the other two. It's the direction. I know when we went through our schedule prediction stuff and I wound up with them at 8 wins, it's because I had them getting swept by Houston. Right? Like, I didn't have them getting the sweep with Houston. I had them sweeping Tennessee
and go back
and splitting with the Colts, I believe, but it might have been a little bit. I don't remember exactly.
All right, so we take advantage of the division.
Yeah, the AFC South, the South still looks like the same South that it was going into the last several years. If they can't be above 500 in those games, it's hard for me to expect them to be above 500 just in general. I don't see how they get there if they can't get to 4-2 in that division.
Dylan Denmark, what do you got at 5?
I'm going to go, I wanted to talk about the overall secondary for number 5, but then I just kind of I narrowed it down. Tyson Campbell being healthy this season. It's going to be really hard for this team to win 9 games this year if Tyson Campbell gets hurt again, and he's only able to play 9 or 10 games this year. He has to play at least 16 games this year. Because if he's out, then you're asking a lot of questions on who's on the outside. Does that change the plans for Travis Hunter? Is he going to play more defense if Tyson Campbell's out for a significant amount of time? So I went with Tyson Campbell being healthy for the most of the season.
Yeah, I think that's pretty valid. Obviously, he's got to, along with that, the presumption that he's going to play to a certain level.
Yeah, I got Tyson on the list.
Okay, so specifically, so you went with specific players a lot. It sounds like. I don't know if this is my official prediction sheet, but for some, because I felt like I picked them to go 8 and 9, and this has them going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 8. But I had them 5 and 1 in the division, and so that's beating up on the division and still probably not winning it. But I'm with you. That just goes to show you if you're 3 and 3, now all of a sudden where are you going to get to those other necessary half dozen wins? So Tyson Campbell staying healthy for Dylan Denmark. All right, for me, you could put this anywhere. All these things are important. Try to prioritize them, but this one could certainly be higher on the list. And that is just create turnovers, man. I mean, forget the turnover differential, which is bad enough. It's astounding how bad the Jaguars were at taking the ball away last year. They had 9 turnovers as a defense in 17 games. Yeah. That is pathetic. It is abysmal. It is ridiculous. Now, do we have the same exact personnel as Green Bay on defense? No. So maybe they got a few more ball hawkers. But Tony, Anthony Campanile last year was part of a defense that produced 31 turnovers, which was 4th best in the National Football League. I think 33 was right at the top of the list with the Minnesota Vikings. The Jags produced 9. That's 3.5 times less than the top teams are doing. You cannot compete giving up that many possessions because you're going to turn the ball over yourself to a certain degree. And yes, overall turnover differential is important, but it's not just getting the ball back and stopping that team from scoring. It's where do you get the ball back, Tone? Hey, how about we can score on defense? How about we can get the ball and set Trevor Lawrence up already in chip shot field goal range? And now we just got to punch this thing in so we can pay it off with the extra 4 points. 9 turnovers. Dead last in the league. The only team with single digits in the category. I don't know if it's mindset. Every team, every year, Tony, we've been to 1 million Jaguar training camps. Everyone's always preaching, strip the ball, strip the ball, attack the football. Well, I don't know if they just didn't have the players to do it, the scheme to do it, or potentially at times, where teams just so effective running the ball at them, they didn't need to go high risk in passing situations, which generally are the circumstances that create more turnovers for your defense.
Yeah, I think 9 is hard to explain just in general, right? And the factors that have to go into that are hard to figure out exactly. I've heard forced fumbles and fumble recoveries is kind of an odd stat to try to predict in any kind of way, right? Like it is just kind of, it happens in the moment and you take advantage of it or you don't. So you're going to get the 9 because you're not getting it. I would say the fumble thing is more a luck thing but I do think the coverage unit that the Jaguars had last year was pathetic, right? The secondary was pathetic. And that explains why it's only at 9, because they're a football team that could not force turnovers with interceptions. They just could not do it. Right. They got 6 on the season. It's
right.
That kind of number is it's even the other teams that are below them on that number, right? The Giants had 5, but they recovered 10 fumbles. So they wound up at 15. The Browns had 4, but they recovered 8 fumbles. So they wound up at 12, right? I know why they wound up at 9 is because they can't intercept the ball and they got a little bit unlucky. It felt like during the season as far as forcing the fumbles. In those certain situations, it's just a little bit unlucky if they're kind of middle of the pack more than they are a team that even it's still not a good number. They're forcing what? 15, total?
I will say that the one thing that they had going for them is that they didn't turn it over quite as much as some of the other teams. But if you look, Tone, at just the differential in turnovers, the at the top, Buffalo was plus 24.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like worlds better than anybody else. Pittsburgh was next at plus 16. If you're anywhere around plus 10, that's really, really strong. And the teams that were Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Green Bay, the Chargers, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Houston, Detroit. Those are all pretty good teams, right?
Yeah.
Turnover differential on the other end. Cleveland, minus 22. Worst team in the league. Had the second overall pick. Tennessee had the number 1 overall pick. They were minus 16. Vegas, same record as the Jags, picking 6, minus 16. Jacksonville, minus 15. New England, with the 3rd pick in the draft, minus 11. Yeah. You see a pattern here?
It's a telling stat.
It is such a freaking telling stat, but it is so disgusting to look and see 9 next to their forced turnover total last year. It is hard to believe. And so, improved pass rush, we think we've bolstered it somewhat. How much? I don't know. The move of Eric Armstead as Josh Hines-Allen laid out, he's going to play 3 technique. Hey, that's what we thought he was always going to play.
Yep.
Right? But now he'll do that. You've got 2, what I feel are proven pass rushers in the league on the edge, and a 3rd in Emmanuel Ogbah, who is as good as a 3rd rusher as we've had in several years here.
The secondary in Jacksonville was so bad last year that the numbers that we're talking about here would be helped by them having played Armstead inside last season. I don't doubt that they would have been helped, but I don't know how much it would have actually affected these. I don't think they would have wound up at 9, but I don't think it would have skyrocketed given how bad they played in the secondary last season.
You know how we always talk about it goes hand in hand. Pass rush, coverage, pass rush, right? Chicken and the egg kind of thing. Which is going to benefit more from the other this year? Are the Jags is the secondary going to reap a bigger benefit for having Armstead back inside, a normal rotation where Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon are never off the field together, Emmanuel Ogbah and potentially Smoot adding into that mix, maybe the development of Mason Smith. That's what you got going on up front right now. Never mind the blitz packages and all that. Secondary, hopefully, as Dylan pointed out, healthy Tyson Campbell, right? Travis Hunter joins the mix, who may be as good as anybody you have playing that position. You've got a bunch of new bodies at the safety position as well. Will the pass rush benefit more from the improved coverage on the back end or vice versa, in your opinion?
I think given the level of player that they have at the pass rush spots, that they would be the bigger benefactors of the secondary not being miserably bad.
So you think the improvements in the secondary will pay off more for the guys up front?
I think so.
As opposed to the rush
I think
is going to be
all
that much
help
better,
one
therefore
another,
they
but
have
if
to
I had
cover
to
less.
choose which I think will help more, I think the secondary not being, we know where the ball is going before the snap because they're everywhere. Like they're just so all over the place. There's open spaces all over the place. It doesn't matter how quick the rush gets there. in those situations. I think they'll be helped given that, because the secondary wasn't this level of bad 2 years ago, and
Right.
Josh Hines Allen got the 17.5. And they didn't have any push up the middle that year. None. Right? Like, they weren't getting any help anywhere else. It was just Josh and Trayvon out there on islands making stuff happen. The secondary just wasn't all-time bad for the team that season.
And, oh, by the way, it's all tied together to the offense as well. You get more leads in the second half,
For sure.
and you get into obvious pass rush situations, and the defensive secondary knows what's coming, or a little bit more predictable on what's coming. You're never going to know exactly, but all right, so we've started off. I think we can get one more in on this side, Dylan.
Number 4.
Dylan Denmark, what do you got?
I'm going to go with, y'all were just talking about the secondary versus the D-line. I think the D-line is more important, so that's why I had the push up front of the D-line at number 4 for me, specifically the interior. I feel like you know what you're going to get from Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen. They've had 2 productive seasons the last couple of years. I think, if they don't get double-digit sacks this year, it'd be kind of a disappointment just because they've done it for the last couple of years. I know Josh Hines Allen didn't do it last year, but that's what we expect him to do this year. Having Armstead move back inside, having Mason Smith, now we expect him to start every game this year and have an impact, and not have him be a healthy scratch is going to have a big impact. And you add, a couple free agents to help that third down pass rush, which I think, you're going to fill that void that the Jags had with Arden Key a couple of years ago. And Brian Baldinger last night went on with Rick Ballou talking about the Jaguars D-line. He first was talking about the weights. Last year all the guys were told to put on weights. He was talking about that first. Going to this year, they're losing some weight. Is that going to affect them? And then also about the interior, or the D-line as a whole.
Well, I mean, you do play extreme heat. I don't think it's going to hurt either one of those powers. I mean, Trayvon is a very powerful player to begin with. I don't think it's going to affect his power. So if it improves his overall conditioning and his movement and quickness, yet doesn't take away from the power, that can't be a bad thing for any pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
They feed each other. They need a better inside, push. They need Mason Smith to really step up this year. Devon Hamilton, some of the guys that are there. I think that's where they really need to improve. I think both Josh and Trayvon have a chance to have, double-digit pass seasons coming up this year.
One thing I like about Baldinger, he's not going to be right about everything. He's got opinions. He does generally make it a point to know the personnel he's talking about.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I give him credit for that. So, all right, that was good use there, Denmark. Just overall better play by the defensive line. Number 4 for me, Tone, on the recipe, my next ingredient to produce a winning season for the Jags is have an effective running game, right? This is something that Liam Cohen said, we want to be able to run the football. Well, here's where he did have that impact. When you talk about let's not give Liam Cohen all the credit. The Bucs were a pretty good organization, pretty good offense. Granted, right? But go back to 2023. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Where do you think, Dylan Denmark, the Buccaneers in 2023 ranked in terms of average yards per carry by their running backs?
Oh, it was not good. It was bottom of the league, so I'll say 3.4.
3.4 is exactly what they were, and they were 32nd. How many teams in the league, Tone?
32.
32. So if you're 32nd at something, means you're the worst at it.
Mm-hmm.
Liam Cohen inherited a running game in Tampa that on a per-play basis was the worst in the National Football League. Now, what did they go out and do? They drafted Bucky Irving. Now, he didn't start the whole season, but he added another element to that running game. And yeah, they got weapons to keep them off balance in the passing game. We feel like we've got that as well, right? We got our guy. Might have been Ashton Genty if it had gone a different way. There was definitely a commitment, a mental thought process that we've got to upgrade the talent in this room. And so not only Bajal Tootin, but LaKent Allen as well coming into the mix. The Bucs went from 32nd in the league, averaging 3.4 yards per carry. Now, granted, I'm sure they added some personnel along the way, but we did as well, right? They went from that to 5.2 yards a carry last year, which was third best in the NFL. Now, the Jags are not starting off as abysmally as the Bucs were. The Jags actually averaged 4.2 yards a carry, a lot of that coming on the strength of Tank Bigsby last year. When you look at the average per play, that put them right in the middle of the pack. They were 17th in the league. Is it crazy to think that Liam Cohen could make this a top 5 running team? I don't think it is. And that's not the only stat that tells the tale, yards per carry, because it's impacted by short yardage carries and all those different things. But it's one measure to show you how much he improved that aspect of the Bucs offense in one single season.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell with that kind of stat how much it's effective by how willing they were to throw the ball, especially in goal line and red zone situations. Like, they were a really effective team where in that part of the field where everything gets shortened. So you might have a really effective run game, but because we got 50 more carries in that part of the field, it's going to drop down to whatever it's going to be. And it looks more like average, perhaps, but it was a really good number, right? Like, you can't take that away.
The number's the number.
The number is the number for the Bucs last year. Number 4, that's where I also have defensive line and exactly where the improvement's going to come in. I'm all kinds of confident in Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker. I have questions about pretty much everything else. I think they're much improved with the third edge rusher with Agba being in there. And beyond that, I think Armstead playing inside is obviously his more natural position that should be better for the football team. I hope that's what they're getting out of that. Mason Smith, as I've expressed, I still have my questions about Mason Smith, but I'm willing to put some confidence in their confidence in Mason Smith and Eric Armstead moving to the inside. But it's one of those, it's the bet they've made in the offseason that they need to pay off the most, right? As far as what they already had on the roster. We feel okay with what we have on the interior of this defensive line. That's the bet that they made, that's the one that is the most crucial for them to get out of the two guys that they have that can be the horses on the outside for them. Get something from those guys so that they can expose it a little bit. I think the secondary is a little bit more important, so I don't have it on the list higher than the secondary for me personally, but I do have it in there at number 4.
All right. We'll continue our countdown, putting together the recipe to deliver the Jaguars a winning season. That's today's Chad and Sandy real estate question today. What are your 5 main ingredients that the Jags need to put into the mix to assure themselves, or at least put themselves in the best position to win more than they lose in 2025? We'll pick up the countdown on the other side. If you want to get in, 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, one of the easier ways to do it, or just hit us up on social media in response to today's question of the day. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. 1010XL.
When I met you in the summer.
Jacksonville's summer station.
When I met you in the summer.
Where summer memories come alive.
With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband and wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville's full of memorable sports moments. Remember Tiger Woods' 60-foot putt on the iconic 17th? Gary Coate called it better than most. Better than most. Well, Coil Fencing is better than most. They're better than all. Coil has been that for nearly 100 years. So if you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today. That's at 904-356-4821 or visit CoilJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
Cooking with Prisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rollie.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL. Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy. Why so glum?
Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here.
What?
The tap water at my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet.
Wait, I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
Yo, it's your main man E.T. here for Explore Clay. And Clay County is your destination this 4th of July. Start the morning with the Freedom 5K in Keystone Heights. Medals for the first 300 finishers and a scenic course through the shaded neighborhoods. Then enjoy the 57th annual celebration at City Hall with vendors, live music, and family fun. Wrap up the day at Moose Haven in Orange Park for the American Pride 4th of July, a free Riverside event with food, live entertainment, and fireworks over the St. Johns River. Discover more at exploreclay.com.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. The Orlando Magic do get to work early during the free agent period, signing free agent guard Tyus Jones to a one-year, $7 million deal. Jones will now join Desmond Bane in a reshaped Magic backcourt that's also including fourth-year guard Jalen Suggs. The Magic have needed a table setter at guard, and Jones is one of the best in the league. He boasts some of the highest assist-to-turnover ratios of all time for the Wizards back in 2023-24, where he averaged 7.3 assists to just one turnover. The Orlando Magic are going to be welcoming their two newest members of their draft class and get them to work early in both Jace Richardson and Noah Pinda. They will be participating in the NBA Summer League competition for the Magic beginning on July 10th as they face Sacramento. Right now, 84 degrees at 10:58. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
You know, Jags got to get after it, Tone. We hear the flagship station for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think a lot is expected out of the Florida Gators this year, right? And we also carry Florida Gator broadcasts on this station. Dylan Denmark, like what is the minimum win total you'd be expecting from the Florida Gators in 2025?
7.
What?
At minimum.
That seems low.
I'm feeling 8. Dude, the Vegas over under 6.5.
Is it? I feel like that should be crushed on the over. Am I wrong?
Well, yes, that's why the over is you have to lay 140 to win 100. But yeah, I mean they went 7-5 last year, had a good second half, but most people are expecting 8 wins this year. I'm expecting 8.
I feel like 8 would be in the disappointment category.
Well, I mean when you play Texas and Georgia.
Now, I get the schedule is the toughest in the country and all that, and I'm not trying to sandbag here, but, I mean, DJ Lagway is supposed to be in the conversation to be the first pick for the Cleveland Browns next year, right?
Well, he can't go to the draft next year.
Oh,
he's only a sophomore this year. So he's got another year. But yeah, he's going to be a top 5
guy,
pick.
right?
Yeah, I think he'll be a top 5
For Dan
pick.
and Jeff talk about they had saw Matt Miller's mock, they had like 3 Gators in the first round, something like that. My point being, we're carrying another team that's expected to do fairly well. Pretty good expectations. RJ just gave an update, like everything the Orlando Magic have done in the last year, I think, but they've been busy this offseason. Got the Magic back, and they're talking about being dark horse contenders. Let's go, Jags. All we want is 9-8 in the AFC South. Put us in the conversation, Tony, mid-December. 3 weeks to go in the mix and not at the bottom needing 7 different things to go right just to stay alive for another week. That's where we want to be. I want to be better than that.
Yeah.
I want to be already clinched, but not likely to go that way.
And Bowles is a threat to go 10-0 every year.
Bowles is always a threat. Yeah. I mean, what's Baldwin a threat to do this year, Dylan?
Make the playoffs again.
Okay. We're not, the Baldwin station, although we're the Baldwin show.
Yeah.
Around these
We
parts.
are, no doubt.
So
we're the West Side show.
West Side. All right. Why don't we let Tony take us around the all-important National Football League, then we'll jump back into the countdown with number 3.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
After a busy Monday that saw the Steelers trade for cornerback Jalen Ramsey and tight end Jonnu Smith from Miami in exchange for safety Minkah Fitzpatrick and a swap of day 3 draft picks in 2027, Tom Pelissero reported yesterday that Pittsburgh is not interested in trading TJ Watt, who is going into the final year of his current deal, and that they are still working to try to get a long-term deal done with him. Watt has not attended any part of the Steelers' offseason to this point, including the mandatory minicamp a couple of weeks ago. So we'll see how that works out.
I got a lot of dynasty investment in you, TJ.
Yeah.
So,
well, wherever he goes, I'm sure he'll land on his feet. Yeah.
Right.
Wherever he winds up. The LA Chargers, formerly San Diego, will be adding safety Rodney Harrison to their team Hall of Fame during their Week 8 Thursday night game against Minnesota this year. Harrison has the most sacks for a defensive back in Chargers history, 3rd on the team's all-time interceptions list, and as a rookie was on the only team in Chargers history to ever play in a Super Bowl.
One of the many differences between baseball and football, right? Like Rodney Harrison got caught using steroids, right? Like in baseball, it'd be the
we
end
can't
of
put
it.
Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame.
It happens in football, and you're like, yeah, and
how else do they compete?
Right. Yeah, we assume most of them are doing it. I don't assume most of them are doing it.
No. But when they get caught, it's like, they got caught.
Somebody got caught. Yeah. You better look into a new masking agent. But like, it never gets brought up with Rodney Harrison. It's like, I mean, it is what it is, you know? Never gets brought up with Marcus Stroud here, either in Jacksonville. There have been plenty of guys around the league. And you're like,
and
what?
my lasting memory of Rodney Harrison is not able to knock that ball away from David Tyree. That's Rodney Harrison.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
At that moment, you were all full in your Giants fandom.
Yes, I was.
No question about it. By the way, Miami's said to be in the market for a tight end. Now, hey, how about Jonnu Smith? Like, what? Jonnu was so effective in that offense in the second half of the year last year as a short outlet for Tua. By the way, bump Devon Achane up your PPR running back rankings, right? He's going to be catching a few more out of the backfield, you would think, in some of those short areas. So it's just weird. Like, you hear, like, now the Pittsburgh side, because, when it first happened yesterday, Minkah Fitzpatrick for Jalen Ramsey, and then they're going to juice Jalen's contract. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they've got good corners already in Pittsburgh. And then you hear, well, there was a lot of dissatisfaction with Minkah either freelancing and not making enough big plays. Like, it's one thing, like freelancing. Troy Polamalu invented freelancing.
Yes.
You kidding me? But he paid it off. And some guys have that. We talked a decent amount about Ed Reed yesterday as we were going around the all-time faces of the franchise, and people put him up there for the Ravens versus Ray Lewis. I mean, that guy, he could afford to freelance because he'd get his hands on the football. And I guess that was one thing that they looked at, and that Pittsburgh's like Minkah's good, but we probably overpaid him. And, it's kind of a sunk cost now. It's funny because Miami welcomes him back. They have, the front office knows him very well, but they also at a point in time thought, we need to move on from Minkah Fitzpatrick too. Right. So I don't know. Still kind of a weird set of deals the way they went down yesterday. But
Minkah, looking at his numbers here the last couple of years, and he's a strong safety basically there in Pittsburgh. It's what he's being asked to do. So he still approached 100 combined tackles last year, but he's combined for 1 interception in the last 2 seasons. He's combined for 7 passes defensed in the last 2
Not getting his hands on the ball.
Right. Now, to give you an idea of how Pro Bowl voting works, once you're in the bucket, you're in the bucket, right? So he's been a Pro Bowler each of the last 3 seasons, 4 out of the last 5 there in Pittsburgh. And it does look like they switched him from primarily free to strong safety because he got a little bit bigger.
It's interesting. Deshaun Elliott, to me, is a strong safety. And
that may be part of it, too.
He was, and so I guess Juan Thornhill now is the guy who gets more opportunity. But I think obviously this locks in Deshaun Elliott as the primary guy there.
And by the way, Minkah Fitzpatrick, just interesting here. I don't know what the picture is of Fitzpatrick in people's minds. Still without a career sack.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's the lack of splash plays that we're talking about for the amount of money that you're paying with a guy who's very solid. Jalen Ramsey will give you some splash plays. But again, they got Joey Porter Jr. there, who was a second-round pick in 2023. Yeah. They got Darius Slay, who they signed this offseason. Is Jalen going to be the nickel? That's some of the talk going around yesterday. Is he going to play nickel? And they just like his versatility. He can play outside. He can play nickel. He can play safety for you. But, pretty penny. And, they'll probably win enough games that Jalen Ramsey be on his best behavior for 1 season there in Pittsburgh. But just a little bit curious. And I guess it is, a case like, all right, we got Aaron Rodgers for 1 year. We're going to bring these guys in. We're going to make as big a push as we possibly can in this season, which is why people think there may not be done. There's some decent, veteran wide receivers out there, like Amari Cooper is sitting out there. Could Amari Cooper help this team compared to Robert Woods right now?
Right.
Depends on what his salary ask is, but I think there's room to improve that pass-catching core. And Arthur Smith did have Jonnu for a few years, early in his career. So he's well versed in it, in what he's capable of doing. He just never really did much of anything. Ran him on jet sweeps and stuff like that. Right. And I mean, you already had Pat Freiermuth there. It's just a little bit of an interesting deal, the way the whole thing went down. Maybe that they felt like doubling up, like the value there that they were getting on that kind of offset maybe a little bit of what they lost in age in between Fitzpatrick and Ramsey. I don't know. I heard the guys talking about this morning, is Pittsburgh a contender? I think they're certainly, you would expect them to be in the playoff mix, right? Cleveland's not coming out of there. They had a better record than Cincinnati last year. I don't know if I'd pick them over Cincinnati this year, but I don't expect them to beat Baltimore. But all you have to do is be one of the 3 wild card teams in the AFC. That's presuming they get TJ Watt happy and ready to roll at the appropriate time. But still think they got some pieces there. All right, we got to get back to the countdown. So let's take a time out here, Tone, so we don't get crazy behind. This show's not the drill, ladies and gentlemen. I kid. I love the drill. Anyway, we'll come back. We got to get to numbers 3, 2, and 1 in our recipe of ingredients for the Jaguars to produce a winning season in 2025. So stick around. We'll do that coming up on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
After work, crack open a cold one with Rick Ballou.
How's that beer tasting?
Like the first of many. Into the night.
Make yourselves at home, sweet home, boys.
Evenings on 1010XL.
I hear we're getting a new cappuccino machine.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Registration is now open for the Circle K Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament. With over $450,000 in cash and prizes, fun starts on July 13th with the inaugural Kickoff Beach Tournament that has a $50,000 cash first place prize. There's also a junior offshore tournament and one for the lady anglers. Best of all, the winner of the General Offshore Tournament takes home a Contender 28T with twin Yamaha 200s. Register today at kingfishtournament.com.
I'm with
Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. I always brag on what you guys have on-road and off-road. But, Greg, tell everybody about what's happening on the water, because you got loads of opportunity.
We do. We've got lots of boats in stock. We got the Honda 19-foot Fisher Runabout. We've got the Coach pontoons, all of them with that legendary Honda motor and legendary Honda reliability, which you always want when you're out on the water.
You could be cruising along the Intercoastal or out on the ocean, but check it out. Facebook page ready for all of you to see, Cycles of Jacksonville, or their showroom on Atlantic near Regency. Here's Linda Beaver.
The dog days of summer are here, and so are the hottest deals of the year. Whether you're hauling down the street, cruising on the beach, or just escaping the heat, we have the ride you're looking for and the wow you experience you deserve. Save big on select models with sizzling summer savings, low financing, and limited time bonus cash on all trades. So don't sweat it. Come beat the heat at Beaver Automotive, where the summer deals will wow you.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business now for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about Dandy for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy's never frozen, always fresh baked bread and quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see the logo with the little dude with the cane on the label, it tells me that I'm getting a trusted brand, a quality sandwich. So do what I do, stop in at a gate and make yours a Dandy today.
One man, one hammer. One place to hear it drop. Hammer Time with Hayes, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y, summer camps every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you
doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage too.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
I try to circle back to a little more of that Josh Hines Allen audio tone on the Rich Eisen show if we have time for it today. If not, I'm sure you may have heard some of it already, but I'd like to give you our take on just anytime any of the premier Jaguars are speaking, especially this time of year. You're not going to get many opportunities to hear from them for the next few weeks. Like to hear what he had to say, what he thought about, obviously a lot of Travis Hunter discussion.
Yeah, as we come back to hot-blooded. I saw the UV index today. It was listed on my app as extreme, right? That's all it said. I was like, yeah, it's one of those days, isn't it?
Well, what do they say? Jacksonville temperatures over 90 for 20 straight days now, something like that.
Yeah, but there's like no cloud cover until this afternoon, so you're getting all of it. Whatever UV rays there are out there, when you're outside, you are getting baked this time of year. But yeah, I'd like to hear a little bit more from Josh.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah. We'll get to it if we have time today. We'll definitely roll that in. We got to finish the countdown. As often is the case, we get behind because we got other things on our mind. But counting down the 5 main ingredients we think are necessary for a winning season for the Jags. Dylan, where would we leave off?
Number 3.
All right, I got number 3 here. For me, Tone, this is, again, you guys have talked about the importance of the improved play from the defensive line, and this is part of that. And, that was part of my number 5, which is create more turnovers. More effective pass rush is a big part of that. But stopping the run, or how about slowing the run a little bit more? Jaguars, not atrocious, despite what you may think at times. It's situationally where, if you can't stop them early on and, your numbers are going to get a little bit skewed, but they average giving up 4.4 yards a carry last year. Right? This is also the team, by the way, that stopped the tush push as effectively as anybody. So that they have some physical capability, but you can't allow other teams to dictate the pace of the game to you. 4.4 yards per carry allowed, ranked actually 12th, which was not abysmal.
Yeah.
But Green Bay, and this is where you would think a linebackers coach would have some influence here in stopping the run. Green Bay averaged giving up 4 yards a carry, which was tied for 3rd best in the National Football League. So just based on,
they got
again,
some monsters in the middle up there in Green Bay.
Absolutely. Look, it's different personnel. There's no question about it. But I do think they have the ingredients. If they can nail down the nose tackle spot, whoever that is, Devon Hamilton, whomever, if it's Mason Smith on the field with Armstead more frequently, maybe we'll see Smoot rotate in there if he makes the team. Who knows? But if they can get that aspect, they've got guys that can get ball carriers on the ground in that linebacker core. I think they can improve what was not a tragic number last year.
Yeah.
But still too much. 4.5 yards a pop, give a couple of carries up and you're looking at 3rd and short every single time. So, the difference is in the degree here. 4.0 yards allowed doesn't seem like much better than 4.4, but it did rank as 3rd best in the NFL. So that's one area I think the Jags need to improve.
Number 3 for me, you could just simply list secondary, right, is what you could do, but I wanted to get more specific than that with this. So I went with Tyson Campbell as number 3. And specifically for Tyson Campbell, that he plays like the player that played here in 2022. I don't think the success of the team coinciding with Tyson having what felt like a season that after that year, the discussions we were having about Tyson Campbell was, where does he rank in the top 5 of corners in the league? And how high can he get on this list? Those were the discussions we were having about Tyson Campbell in 2022. I don't think it's just a coincidence that he's playing at that kind of level and the team has the kind of success that they do during that season when Tyson is able to play. He's dealt with the injuries the last couple of years, so health is obviously a big factor with all of this for all these guys. But Tyson getting back to being the guy that if he had been given that contract after that kind of season, I think we all go, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of going, I don't know, did we do it a year early? Like, don't you just want to give him one more year to show you, this kind of thing? I want him to get back to the kind of player that we can be confident in still being a rising player at the position. I think he's going to be looked at as the best corner on the football team going into the season. That's the way the contract tells you that's what he's going to be looked at as. I think he's got the talent to play at that kind of level. We haven't seen it basically in 2 years. It's time for it to show back up on the field. And I think him being at that kind of level again will pay big dividends for the whole secondary around him.
I mean, just being healthy is a great start in the right direction for Tyson Campbell if he's able to, be out there every single week and keep those hamstrings fresh. Dylan, what do you got at 3?
I'm going to go red zone offense. Baker Mayfield a year ago had the highest completion percentage at 73% in the red zone. That was the highest among any starting quarterback in the league a year ago. 29 touchdowns, 1 interception for Baker Mayfield in the red zone. That was for touchdowns. That's top 3 interceptions, top in the league. Look at the team a year ago in the month of September. Miami, Etienne fumbles the ball at the 1-yard line against Cleveland. Jacksonville scores a touchdown, gets called back it was a false start or holding, and they weren't able to overcome. And then against Houston in the fourth quarter of that game, in week 4, they were stopped at the 1-yard line on a 4th and goal, and they turned the ball over on down. So if they are able to improve the red zone, which Liam Cohen was able to do in Tampa, I think that is a recipe for success for them winning 9 games this year.
All right. We'll get to the next in a moment. Our South American producer, Cristiano, put this in front of my eyes right here. You see what the Dolphins are doing to fill their tight end hole?
What?
Who do you think they just traded for? Which tight end?
Kyle Pitts.
That's a good guess, right? Because he's been rumored to be on the block, although I've heard that he doesn't really fit in their scheme. Incorrect, but a good guess. You're not going to get it.
I just saw it. Wow.
Darren Waller.
Did not see that.
Who's retired, but is coming out of retirement to play in Miami. So I don't know what they gave the Giants, who still retained Waller's rights. But
Adam Schefter said the Dolphins are trading a conditional 2026 6th to the Giants for a 2027 7th round pick and Darren Waller.
Right. So about as minimal as you can get. Darren Waller, who was good in 2019 and 2020, who hadn't really
a conditional 6th for a 7th rounder and Darren Waller back the other way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the guy was retired.
He's retired. Yeah.
That's about as low a compensation as you can give. He in 2023 had 52 catches for 552 yards and only 1 touchdown for the Giants. The year before that with the Raiders, he's been injured as well. Like at his peak in 2020, he had 107 catches for nearly 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
Year before that, he was 90 for 1,103 touchdowns. So he's never, with the exception of that one season, never been a big touchdown guy. And but just interesting how that all comes together.
Yeah.
Like that. All right, let's get back to our countdown, or looking at the top 5 ingredients necessary for a Jaguar winning season. Dylan?
Number 2.
I think, Tony, you're up here on this one.
Yeah, number 2 for me on the list, the offensive line rises to middle of the pack in the NFL. I don't think it needs to go a whole lot higher than that for them to be successful enough on offense for everything else to work. Just get out of the way. Like, I've been saying that for several years about the offensive line. They haven't quite gotten out of the way the last couple of years. This year, they've brought in all these new bodies, new faces. They're willing to put pressure on Anton Harrison about what kind of effort they're getting from him, moment to moment. Like they're willing to push buttons on the offensive line to try to get to at least middle of the pack. And I think middle of the pack in the NFL allows their run game to work well enough, allows the pass game to work well enough for them to be successful with the pieces that they have in the offense around it. But they have to get the offensive line, just get it out of the way. It can't be a glaring weakness moment to moment, play to play for the football team.
Mr. Denmark.
I'll say, along with the offensive line, have the same healthy offensive line start at least 15 of the 17 games this season. It's hard to have a good offensive line whenever you have guys that are getting hurt and you have to put someone else in for 3 or 4 games, or someone gets suspended and you have to put someone else in, or if you start someone week 1 and you expect them to improve by, week 7, week 8, and they don't improve, then you have to put someone else in that position. If you look at the last, decade, the teams that usually make long runs in the postseason, they have the same 5 offensive linemen that start the vast majority of their games in the regular season. And you look at the last couple of years, Ezra Cleveland gets traded, he starts immediately. Cam Robinson gets suspended. Guys have gotten hurt all across the offensive line, and you've had to mishmash it, and it hasn't been good. So hopefully Liam Cohen can get the 5 offensive linemen that he wants week 1, and that group can stay together throughout the whole year.
That's good call. Look, we're all on the offensive line here. Yesterday I saw a post from the Frangie show. They're talking about 10 most important Jaguars. I may not be phrasing it exactly the way they did, but this like the 10 most critical Jags. And I started thinking about it, and I think you could make a case for 4 of the 5 offensive linemen being that. Both tackles, right? Anton Harrison and Walker Little. As of right now, Sean Surratt, the offensive line coach, was recently talking about Walker Little, how, he likes the consistency, what he's seeing out of him day in, day out. I hope that shows up on game day. And again, Tone, a little bit of the Anton can go when he wants to go mentality coming out of Surratt's mouth. Like, he's got all the talent in the world. We just need to see it more consistently, right? Makari is going to be – look, Makari could end up starting at multiple positions this year. Yep. He may be the offensive lineman I currently have the most confidence in, and I really don't know. You know what? It's not like I've never focused on him before the Jags signed him. And then you got Hainsey, who's going to be critical to helping install the Liam Cohen offense for Trevor Lawrence and make the line calls. I don't think the left guard is in that category because it could be Ezra Cleveland. It could be Wyatt Milam. I don't know. I think they're both reasonable options right now. But I'm with you guys 100% on this because I think we know where we're headed with number 1. Offensive line play, we said they got to run the ball better. That's part of it. That's part of scheme's going to be part of that and the talent that they have in the backfield. But protecting Trevor Lawrence is going to be high on the list. They weren't tragic in that department, Tone, but they're just
pathetic on 3rd and short.
Yes, it's situationally. They've got to be better. Let's have Trevor have a few of those clean pockets that, I think Trevor sometimes when he, like a lot of quarterbacks, when the rush starts to get around you early in a game, you abandon your spot prematurely. Like, you look, you say, well, why did he leave there? How many times did Jeff Loggeman come in with us over the last couple of years? He had a guy here. He went through his read. It was covered, and he moved. If he just turned his head, boom, this guy's there. I think with better protection early in games, you have that confidence in you. They've got options. You can't say that the Jags didn't try to work on this offensive line. Now, did they make the right additions? We named 2 guys. Right, 2 guys who are going to be starters, maybe 3 in Milam coming in here. Fred Johnson, Chuma Adoga are competing out there, and I wouldn't sleep on any of them. Cole Van Lanen is a pretty highly regarded, at least reserve with some flexibility. So they've got pieces that are flexible. Are they good enough on the high end? How much of a fire is going to be lit under Anton's butt? That I think that's a big question, needs to be answered.
I asked Jamal St. Cyr and Tom McManus last week this question. And so I haven't had the opportunity to ask you yet.
Okay.
But while we're talking offensive line, it makes sense for this to be a question to be asked. Fast forward to the end of 2025. Who is the Jaguars' best offensive lineman?
Best, define best. Like, who had the best season, or who do I feel the best about going into 2026?
Who is, however you want to categorize that, who is the Jaguars' best offensive lineman coming out of the 2025 season?
Who do you think would play, no doubt?
I would love to say it's Anton Harrison.
I would too.
I would love to, but I can't.
I think we all would have said that a month ago.
I think Anton, if Anton plays to his capability, it will be Anton Harrison. Otherwise, I feel safe as saying Makari right now, with Wyatt Milam coming up on the outside. Because I think Milam, once he gets in there, we're going to love him, right?
It's a matter of when.
Here's a guy who didn't let his quarterback get hit playing left tackle.
Yeah.
He's going to come in and play guard, which should be a little bit easier in that department. He's got the attitude. He's a road grader. So I would say, like, for the long term, I think we're going to look at the end of the year and say, hey, Wyatt Milam, we got a good guy for a long time. I don't know if we're going to feel the same about the length of how long Makari's going to be here. That's why I asked you kind of like, are we basing this on what we expect for 2026? Sure. I hope it's Anton. But if I'm hedging my bet, I'd put like 60% of my money on Makari, 40% on Milam, and I'm not even sure that Milam's going to start. right? But that's how I kind of feel about it. Could it be Walker Little? Nah, I guess it could be. I don't think it'll be Ezra Cleveland. I don't think it'll be Hainsey.
No.
So what was the consensus?
There was no consensus.
How did you feel about it?
I think I was with you. I think Anton is the guy that I want it to be. And again, I think if we had asked this a month ago before Coach said what he said, we all would have said Anton.
Yeah, and I still think if they all play their best football this year, it will be Anton.
Yeah, I think it will be too. But I think that's exactly what the discussion is how much are we relying on how we feel about these guys now and how much we want to project what they'll be. I think the moment Milam gets on the field as a starter, it's solidified.
I agree with you.
Right? Like the thing that you saw in college that was the reason that you wanted to go draft him, when he gets on the field, it's because it showed up.
But you got to make him earn it.
Right. You make him earn it, and when he gets there, I wouldn't be surprised if we get to the end of the season, that is the guy that everyone's like, that's the guy. Now, this is the NFL. You don't want the guy to be a guard. That's just not the way the NFL, like you want your guy, if you're going to pick one on the offensive line, to be a tackle, which is why I think when we all start answering this, we all want it to be Anton. Right? Like, we all want it to be Anton. And if you're not going to pick Anton, I had one or two people say, Walker, will wind up being the best. And he's the guy that they cut out
prototype,
to be a left tackle. So
and again, Mason Cole's the guy you'd cut out to play defensive end.
Sure. But if Walker is able to take advantage of the opportunity this year as the starting left tackle, I think there's the potential for him to be the guy that you feel that way about coming out of this season, but it's hard. You're projecting a lot with pretty much any of these guys, which is more the point, is that all of them you're kind of going, well, this is what I expect out of whatever. Makari makes the most sense because I think it's easiest to see he can play all five positions wherever you need him.
And he's going to be solid, and the contract means that they believe in that he was worthy of that level of investment, and we're trusting this new coaching staff and regime to analyze these guys better than the past ones have.
But even with that, I really, really don't want us to be in a position at the end of 2025 where we think Makari's the best offensive one they have.
I don't want it to be, but I think that's where I would feel safest putting my money right now.
It feels like if they do get to the end of 2025 and that's where we're at, it means you're not getting what you need out of either tackle spot. At that point, I don't know how much of an opportunity Milam had, right, during his rookie season. Like the things that I think you want to see the answer be, the three that I would list as, these are the three that I would want to be the answer. If none of those three are the answer and I fall back on, well, Makari can do everything, right? Like I don't want to come to the end of 2025 and say, well, Makari can do everything. I don't want that to be the answer to the question.
I hear you. I would say, though, in terms of what you said about you don't want guards to be your best guy, it depends. Generally, I think you're right. But if you got a quarterback like Drew Brees, who loves stepping up in the pocket and is savvy enough that, he knows those guys looping around the end are going to take a little while to get to him. If you've got that kind of protection that you can step into that line, and that's what they built in New Orleans for him, and it excelled.
It did.
Do we have that guy? Well, not at the moment.
We hope Milam is.
I'm talking more like, is Trevor.
Yeah.
That, like the guy who is going to take the layup.
Sure.
And consistently, when it's there for you, make the play that's there. I have a feeling we'll say a few more words about him when we come back and conclude the countdown. Tuesday Top 5 most important ingredients for a winning season for the Jags in 2025. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Your front row seat to history in the making.
The Florida Gators, they are the 2025 national champions.
Your home for the most play-by-play is 1010XL. Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now, with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso spine and joint pain specialists.
Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach, or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 3:20 for the latest in sports injuries. From all the big names in the game, who's MIA, who's coming back from injury. Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 3:20.
Maxed out on credit card, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Need the right tools for the job without the full-time price tag? Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach is what you need when you need it. From heavy machinery for commercial projects to weekend projects at the house, we've got you covered. We've been serving Jacks for 50 years. Visit Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach, just behind Aqua East Surf Shop, or call today. We also have event rentals too. Tucker Equipment Rentals. Tools you need without the price tag of purchasing.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coating. We transform pool decks, driveways, and patios with pro precision.
Checkmate Coating, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Now, by the way, Tony, programming note, no 1010XL July 4th cook-off this year, right? It's either because so many of us got on Awaken 180 and we lost a bunch of weight and we don't want to put it back on.
Yeah.
Or I think it's more likely that Duval Doom and Chef Jags crushed it so badly last year that there's really it's kind of, retired in their honor this year. I didn't see much of a competition last year.
Right.
There was an effort made, I suppose, but they killed it last year. So I think we are doing some kind of 1010XL cookout around these parts.
Yeah.
Is the rumor.
On Thursday, yeah.
Yeah. So, Denmark, we going to stick around for that? We going to scoot out of here and get some golfing, or are we going to get rained out?
We're going to try golf.
Okay.
And we're going to try to beat the rain.
Maybe burger for the road kind of situation.
Give me a little tinfoil, put it in the plate.
Yeah, I'm going to beat the rain by playing today. Because today looks like the one day I might not get rained on. But got to get it in, man. It's coming soon. Golf gets cut way down during training camp. All right, let's get to the Tuesday Top 5 conclusion with today's 10-10 Take.
10-10
Take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 Take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company. Veteran owned and operated.
All right, throw the countdown number in there.
Number 1.
Yeah, just make it official. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2. I had at 5, create turnovers. 9, just abysmal last year. You can look at turnover margin if you want to as well, but just create more on defense. 4, have a more effective running game. Liam Cohen helped take the Bucs offense from dead last in the league to third in the league in terms of yards per carry in one season at the helm. Stop the run. Jags, not abysmal, tied for 12th at 4.4 yards per carry given up, but we got to do better than that so teams can't dictate. Hopefully the O-line upgrades will take root and bear fruit, but number 1, and it's going to be number 1 for all of us in some degree. Got to have a better Trevor Lawrence, right? More accuracy, start games faster, slow that heart rate. Tony sails it early. Did see that Warren Sharp stat that he had out there that in terms of incompletions due to quarterback inaccuracy, and he actually didn't fare too terribly in that. Mac Jones was the worst in the National Football League in that category. 46% of Mac Jones' incompletions were due to him just throwing a bad pass, flat out bad pass. That is a league high. Caleb Williams, Drake May, couple of young guys right after that, but Matt Stafford was in there. C.J. Stroud, higher percentage than Trevor. Jared Goff, higher percentage. Jaden Daniels. Trevor was right in there in the Patrick Mahomes territory, Baker Mayfield territory. So, and at least in that one stat, but just in general, be a better field leader. Stay healthy. All the things Trevor is getting the pieces put around him, I feel. By the time we hit the ground running list, we have a wave of injuries in training camp. He's going to be in a better situation to start the season than he's had in his career. That includes coaching staff, everything. So, I mean, if you are a top 10 guy, I think this is the year to show it.
Number 5 for me, counting down to number 1, where I'll talk Trevor along with everyone else. But number 5 for me, 4-2 in the division at minimum. 4, talking about the improvements on the defensive line that need to happen, especially along the interior, circling Eric Armstead and Mason Smith. Number 3, Tyson Campbell, going back to that 2022 form. Number 2, improvements on the offensive line gets him to middle of the pack. And number 1, Trevor, you can go about 100 different angles with this. But obviously, Trevor needs to stay healthy, without which, when he goes down, the season's done, right? Like, that's pretty much the way it is for most quarterbacks across the league. But along things that he can control, Trevor needs to be clutch. That is what ultimately separates his 2022 season from the other 4. Raiders, Ravens, Titans, Cowboys. That season in the back half of the year. And while it was the main reason they got in that hole against the Chargers, he's also the reason they dug out of it, right? Like, it's the player that he was the back half of that season, and I mentioned he got the MVP vote that year. It's because you can go through that list of games that his clutch moments in those games are the reason they were a playoff team that year. It's a reason they were in the divisional round of the playoffs that year. Can they get back to him refinding whatever that was? When we, even in 2023, when it felt like there was the opportunity for them to be going into that kind of mode. And the injury, it's because we had seen what happened in 22. It's like, it's coming again. You could feel it, right, from Trevor. It's coming again. We watched what he just did to Houston that year, and it felt like he had clinched the division that day with that road win against Houston. In reality, that's not how things worked out, but it felt like him finding whatever that is that he's got in his game. I know he has it. I've seen it from Trevor Lawrence. He needs to find that back because it hadn't been there for the last year.
And if he does find that, I think they're as good a contender in this division as Houston, quite frankly.
I do
but
too.
that is, what is the level of improvement that we see from him? Does he have a season where, 15 out of 17 weeks, he looks like that guy that you were just describing? Then I think expectations need to be raised,
and they will be.
Hard to know until we see that play out. Dylan, what do you got?
5 through 4, I had Trevor at 1 as well. But my 5 through 4 was Tyson Campbell being healthy at 5, the push up front from the interior defensive line at 4, the red zone offense at 3. Number 2 was having the same offensive line be healthy for at least 15 of the 17 games this year. And Trevor Lawrence being number 1 for me. I mean, everything that we just talked about is kind of irrelevant if Trevor Lawrence doesn't have a good season. Trevor's got to play at least as a top 15 quarterback if we want him to have a winning record and win 9 games this year. And Brian Baldinger talked about that last night. If we want to play the cup, we'll do that right now.
Yeah.
All right. Brian Baldinger went on with Rick Ballou last night talking about Trevor needing to take a step up this year.
Well, I think he needs to make a jump. He needs to be able to he has not won a lot of games as starters, Rick, over the last 2 years. Injuries, instability, things around him are all true. But he was paid to be a franchise quarterback last year. He has to step up. His overall completion percentage has got to improve. His playmaking ability has got to improve. And so I think that Liam will do a good job of, building a solid run game, something that they haven't had in a while, that will help them. But ultimately, he's got to be able to, attack these defenses and make plays the way the winner of this division has the last 2 years in C.J. Stroud. He's got to start playing at that level this year on a consistent basis. And if he can, then I think Jacksonville can climb out of the depths of where they're at right now and get back into this race.
I think one way to frame it is the Jags need to win some games because of Trevor. Not just Trevor didn't get in the way. No, go out, like you said, there have to be 3 or 4 occasions where you feel like, man, without him today, we had no chance, right? And we pulled it out.
What you have with the quarterbacks that you want to rely on are when you get the ball with 2 minutes left in the game, down 4, we're going to win.
Yeah, that or at least that you're worrying about, man, how quickly are we going to score, right? As opposed to, are we going to be able to even move the ball to the other side of the field?
In that back half of 2022, every week they got put in that situation. It was, we're going to win, right? Like that's the way it felt that season. It hadn't felt like that the last couple of years. Get back to that. That's what the great ones do.
And look, hopefully we'll have even, the playmakers we have now will prove to be better than what we had. But Trevor did have a comfort level with Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk when they could stay on the field.
No doubt.
That helped them out in a lot of those third down situations. So we'll see who develops in that capacity. Now, got a lot of submissions on this. We're going to save some of those to do them justice for tomorrow. We'll go through some of what's left over here. So we appreciate everybody sending your lists in out there on social media for the top 5 ingredients for the Jags to produce a winning record. But right now we say hello to Lauren Brooks, is coming in with Helmets and Heels. Hello, how are you?
The 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
I wasn't sure what we were going to get, quite honestly.
It's been a day full of surprises for you.
It is surprise, hey!
But I do like that you got leftovers after your conversation about ingredients.
Well, there you go. And really, in my ingredients today, I had turnovers, which is kind of food-related, right? Like, I was going through all the different things. Did I want to be complete silly season? And I edited myself just a little bit for a change.
By the way, Tony said ground beef, and you were like, yeah, of course. There are lots of other great ingredients for tacos.
But no. Taco starts with ground beef. All right? Don't give me this fish taco. I don't want trout in a...
not trout.
I don't know what kind of fish you're putting in there.
I never said fish in my taco. How about carnitas?
How about ground beef? All right? How about ground beef?
Good.
Ground beef.
But ground beef is the easiest for me to make at home.
I'll get a chicken taco every once in a while, and I'll be like, why didn't I get ground beef? That's because that's what it comes back.
Shrimp? Like spicy fried shrimp?
No.
Delicious.
Again, seafood in my taco. I mean, I like shrimp.
Quesadilla where you dip the
Give me a
tacos?
little shrimp scampi. That's a different story, but we're not talking about shrimp scampi. We're talking about tacos
We
here.
could do a 2-hour show about food. I'm here for it.
We could do a lot more than that. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of this thing called the Food Network. They do it 24 hours a day.
Beat Bobby Flay is on at my house.
Is it?
Pretty much every day.
I want to punch him in the face, right? Like Bobby Flay's got a very
we root for the
punchable
people
kinda,
that beat him.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Dempsey actually just wants to beat Bobby.
I just want to beat Bobby.
I just want to smack him around.
He looks like he needs a beating. Anyway, who am I to talk? I'm a lover, not a fan.
I, by the way, would not beat him on that show. Brian, maybe not.
Oh, I got no I'm not a good cook
Well,
at
yeah,
all.
you just want ground beef.
I want ground beef for my taco. Yes, I want it as one of my staple ingredients for my tacos. Yes. What's coming up today?
We are going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars for a change. Yeah.
We mixed in a little of that today.
You did. We'll also let people hear that Josh Hines Allen video or audio from the time when he was on the Rich Eisen show. And also, Taylor and I want to go down kind of, not memory lane since it's somewhat recent, but all the moves that the Jaguars have made since the season has ended. I think some people forget. Like, we just assume everybody knows. Some people haven't paid attention to the Jags. And now that it's July 1st, training camp starts this month, they're like, oh, let me get back into
there's
the
been
Jags.
a lot.
There's been a lot. So, yeah, we'll have fun with that.
Welcome to Jaguars football. Trent Baalke is gone.
Yes. That's a good starting point right there.
Yeah, Doug
But
Peterson right before that.
Which got the whole ball kind of rolling. But all right, we'll be listening. Lauren,
Thank
have
you
a great
so
show.
much. Thank you.
Appreciate it as
Enjoy
always. She's
your
got a
ground
Gator
beef
Blue
tacos.
on today. I will enjoy my ground beef tacos, you snob. You?
I'm not a snob.
What's wrong? You like a ground beef taco,
Of
though,
course. But I would definitely go hard shell if I'm going ground beef taco. I got to go back to like the
I go either
the
way.
roots. Okay.
Hard shell, soft shell, whatever. It's fine.
And can we agree that quesadillas are better than tacos?
I would agree.
Okay.
You know, the little triangle things are you smash down on those flat
Like
little
all
things.
the melted cheese, that takes it to
You
another
melt your
level.
cheese in a taco if you want to.
I guess you could have queso on
I'm not
a
a big
taco.
quesadillas are fine. I mean, like, take them or leave.
Yeah, I generally prefer a hot sandwich to a cold one.
Me too.
So, yeah.
There you go.
All right, I'm out.
Hot PB&J coming your
I
way.
used to make those with the George Foreman grill back in college.
You need to leave now. Hot PB&J, Lauren Brooks. I thought I knew you. What is going on? All right, that's gonna do it. Lauren's the best. I kid because I like Lauren. All right, Lauren and Taylor coming your way next with helmets and heels for Tony Smith, for Dylan Denmark. Passable job by all today. I am Mike Dempsey. Thank you for listening to Jaguars Today. Back at it again tomorrow. A couple more days to go, and we hit that July 4th weekend. Have a great day, everybody, on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Happy holiday from Holiday.